Just about 5 days ago, the original 2016 pilot was found for Bluey, and today the 2017 pilot was also found. Now we'll be going over every single change that is in the 2017 pilot as well as the original broadcast of the weekend. But if you want to see the 2017 pilot in full,
what?
Please look in the comments or description so you can actually click on the video. This video will only include the changes I found to be interesting.
Oh, how interesting.
I could probably sit here and point out every single little color change or different item in each room, but that would be really boring, so I thought I'd only be mentioning the things that I consider to be worth mentioning, in my opinion at least. If you guys don't already know, the very first minute of the 2017 pilot has been released on YouTube for a fairly long time, so everything said in the beginning will be rushed a little since it's mostly public knowledge, but some key things to note is the opening is different, showcasing Bluey, Rusty, and Mackenzie with a different song similar to the 2016 pilot. There's slight character changes for the Healer family. Bandit has a half mask even though the 2016 pilot had almost a full mask from both sides on Bandit except for the middle part, which is a bit of an odd change. Chili has different markings as well as slightly different Bluey and Bingos. Both versions of the episode uses the same voice acting clips. However, the newer version has some added scenes, so of course there are some new lines recorded.
Oh, what?
As well as the beginning animation basically being the same, however smoother in the newest version, but the dancing bit uses the exact same animation rigs from the pilot, which explains why the animation here always looked a bit stiffer than what we've come to expect from the show. We can see that this pilot was made before the idea of showcasing something important from the episode in the title card, as well as no narration.
This episode of Bluey is called The Weekend.
And a fun little but weird choice to change, we see Bandit enters from the opposite direction when going to watch the cricket game. It's possible this change was made to represent the layout of the house rooms better, but I don't really know 100%. When we see them on the stairs, I took a very close look and noticed that the shading style is slightly different in the pilot. I sometimes create art of the show on my Twitter attempting to copy the art style to a T, so I always keep a close eye on every small detail and was caught a bit surprised that the 2017 pilot has this slight distinction, being that the characters normally in the current show are solid colors with no shading except directly below the body where their legs connect. However, in the 2017 pilot, they choose to shade every part of the character that comes to the edges of the body, like hands, tails, and every other body part behind the body. I know, super small detail, but I couldn't help but notice it, and I know some artists would love to see this pointed out. As we enter, as we know it from the current show, to the front of the house, we can see Grandpa Bob has seen better days, as well as the door to the outside actually leading to a different area between the two versions. In the regular version, the door leads Bingo to the front of the house, to the walkway/driveway. However, in the pilot, it leads to the back side of the house as well as the balcony that is seen first in the episode Barbecue.
Hey! Bingo!
I'm not quite sure why, but seeing the backyard in the pilot feels so jarring since we're so used to its vibrant self in the current show, but let's continue. When Bandit runs after Bluey, we cut away to him chasing Bluey into the side of the house. However, in the pilot, we see Bingo running towards the tiny bit of vegetation that leads to her finding the leaf bug. But we don't see that in the original until 1 minute later, so there's no doorbell shenanigans between this point and the leaf bug in the 2017 version. Before we talk about the leaf bug scene, I think it's worth noting that there are articles and interviews stating that when the 2017 pilot was showcased for the first time, the pilot got a standing ovation after it was finished showing. But most importantly is that this particular scene was considered to be extremely well crafted and a very popular moment for the audience. Granted, it's an amazing scene in the original, but I think what makes it so special in the 2017 pilot is the fact that the normal animation is frankly a little janky, so when we see this close-up of Bingo and its extreme fluidness, it catches you more off guard than it does in the original, and shows the test audience the lengths the animators would take to make the show unique. This combined with its excellent storytelling more than likely elevating the show to get the support it needed to become the series that we know today. And this animation for Bingo is just so good that they even used it frame by frame in the original broadcasting of the episode, probably not wanting to let all that hard work go to waste. After that scene, we all know that they head right to bed, and the most drastic change I found is that Bingo and Bluey don't share a room in the pilot version. We are just so used to seeing them in this room together that it feels honestly alien to see them being in separate rooms. In fact, Both bedrooms don't really resemble the shared bedroom at all, besides one detail that I promise I'll mention later. Also, small thing I want to say about the 2017 pilot, it feels weird that Bluey is describing the sushi doll to have rice on her feet.
And there's rice at the bottom to help the shoes stand up.
When it clearly doesn't have anything resembling this at all, but she could have just been playing make-believe of Bingo. But in the current version, they changed the doll to reflect what Bluey is saying, and as I promised earlier, the small detail that remains the same between Bingo's pilot room and the current version of the sisters' room is the glow-in-the-dark stars on the wall we get to see as Bandit wishes her daughter goodnight and leaves the door open.
Not Bingo.
Once again, this is just a fun little video I thought would be interesting to some people, due to the fact that the 2017 full pilot is out there now. It's not that mind-blowing of a video,
This changes everything.
considering, we've had that 1 minute on YouTube for quite a while, but it was really interesting to see the full pilot and the changes between the two. This week has been really crazy for Bluey Lost Media. I'm not sure why we're getting so much stuff all of a sudden, but I do want to give credit where credit is due. The person who originally posted this discovery is on Twitter. She seems to have some connections with some of the original animators because they keep sending her these secret pilots, but it doesn't really matter because we as a whole in the community finally get to see these lost pieces of media, and it's really exciting for the Bluey community recently. I know this wasn't quite an elaborate analytical video that I've recently been doing for Bluey content, so I implore you guys to look at my other videos because they're a little bit more well crafted than this. It took me about 2 hours to write this script, when normally a script takes me like 10 hours to write, or like longer than that. But as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope you all have a great day. Bye-bye.
And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.